Hey everybody, this is Jackie from Jacqueline Ann Designs, and I hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas. I came on tonight. I wanted to kind of go over some of my plans for the New Year's. But before we do that, I wanted to apologize, one, for if you happen to any of this video, see any of the messiness around me. I have my studio here all torn apart as I'm kind of revamping it, moving the furniture all around, trying to do some things to make it look a little cuter. So that is going on. So it's pretty much in a disarray with piles of things everywhere right now. And also I got my little girl here, my little Yorkie Poo. She's my baby girl. And she may join in on the video. She's always very curious about what I'm doing and wants to be a part of it. Right now I'm just relaxing here in my recliner. But as I'm planning my 2025 projects, one of them in particular made me decide to come on tonight and record this video. And it has to do with this magazine. Yes, Christmas is over with. You say, so why is she having that magazine? I don't like saving all my Christmas projects to do right before Christmas. And what I've decided to do this year, excuse me, have a little cold right now, I'm sorry, is work on one thing a month. I want it to be a project I can complete in a month. It can be anything like this is a throw pillow. There's actually some pictures in this magazine. There are a total of 50 projects in this magazine. And this magazine was put out by Just Cross Stitch and this is their 2024 special holiday issue for Christmas. And I wanted to talk about it because it's on the newsstands until January the 13th. And if any of you wanted to do this along with me, because I'm going to start filming everything I do. I'm just going to, try to do minimal editing so that I can start filming everything. Other than maybe cutting out the unnecessary so that the times, they don't take up too much of y'all's time. But anyway, I'm going to, I just thought if any of you wanted to do it with me and use this same magazine, you might be able to still get it while it's on the shelves, or go to the Just Cross Stitch website and order it there. Now, the other thing is you don't necessarily have to do this Christmas project, this magazine. I mean, do you have, some people I know subscribe to this, and so they have it. But you may also have from years past, Christmas project magazines sitting around. So if you wanted to join me with any kind of Christmas project, it doesn't even necessarily have to be cross-stitch. It's something to think about. And it doesn't even have to be this year's magazines. You can get it from, go into your stash and see what you have as far as patterns and magazines. Now, but I thought just in case, I'm going to go ahead and go on and talk about it. And since I'm coming on, I wanted to go ahead and talk about some publications that I'm going to be using in some projects on the channel this year. Now, these are not all the projects that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing a separate video about some work in progresses that I have as far as quilting. So that will be in a separate video that I'll probably work on tomorrow evening. But anyway, tonight we're talking about publications that I'm going to be using this coming year. Now, Stampington and Company makes some beautiful, beautiful magazines. As a matter of fact, the next three that I am going to show you, I really at some point throughout the year, want to divide it up and get at least these three. There might be a fourth one that I subscribe to as well. But I want to subscribe to them. I love them so much. To me, these magazines are something you just don't ever throw away. You keep them around forever. But I want to pick a project from each of these next 3 magazines. And some of them, well, I'll pick a project every month. Sometimes the project may take several months, depending on how big the project is and the intensity of it. And I'm also going to be doing a lot of traveling. So, how much am I home to do that? Because I'll be taking a lot of hand needlework and things like that with me on my trips. So like a lot of the paperwork and multimedia I'll have to save and do when I'm home. But Somerset Studio is a multimedia journal. And I use this, I'm learning from this magazine for all kinds of multimedia and also for my junk journaling. So I just love this magazine. And there's all kinds of projects to inspire you in here. There's even, as you see, blank pages for you to practice on doing your own project. So I just love this magazine. And like I said, I'm going to be doing a project a month out of these magazines. This particular magazine here is the November, December, and January issue. So I will be on January 1 posting an announcement, probably the first week of January. I don't want to overwhelm you guys with too much on January 1. I'm going to announce January's Christmas cross-stitch project on January the 1 for sure. But it's sometime during the first week, I'll be announcing a project that I'm going to start on from this magazine and what kind of multimedia, but you can just look at it. Now that is a piece of the free scrap paper that they give you in the books. Yeah, they have them. There's several different ones in this book. There's kind of scattered throughout the book. So anyway. And then a next one. This is another one. Put out by the same company, Stampington and Company. And, these are not cheap magazines, by the way, but not as expensive as they could be. It's $15.99. They're $15.99 a piece. No, the Somerset Studio is $16.99. And the journaling one is $15.99. But all kinds of ideas for your journaling, if you're a junk journal enthusiast, an art journal enthusiast, all kinds of ideas. See, here's just neat ones, just neat things to inspire you to create your own. And excuse my hands, they have a little bit of a shake when I get tired in the evening, so better hold this phone with 2 hands. But anyway, so I'm going to be trying to do a project a month out of that. And then my next thing is the quilting that I am starting to realize that I am more and more drawn to is kind of a combination of what they call art quilting, collage quilting, and I also like applique quilting. The piece quilting, I enjoy it, but not to the degree that I love these other things. And I'm going to start trying to do projects out of this magazine too. Now, not necessarily copying the magazine, but using them for inspiration. And this magazine will be on the newsstands until February the 24th. This one will be on the newsstands. This one is about to go out. This one is probably disappearing. The new one's about to be published. This one was the October, November, and December issue of this magazine. So the new one is probably in Barnes & Noble right now. And then, so I don't know if I'll get the project out of this issue here or the new one. And then this one will be on display until the January the 27th. Will be available in the bookstores anyway. And I know some of you subscribe to at least Somerset Studio because some of you introduced it to me. Now, there are some other publications that I'm going to be using that don't have anything necessarily to do with those. And I'm going to be doing a once a week entry into an art journal. I want to start an art journal. Now, this particular journal, I think this is a Dylusions journal. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure it is. And it's really a craft paper journal. The paper, it's more like cardboard, actually. It's not craft paper like you would see a package wrapped in. This is heavy-duty, heavyweight paper. And if I want to make the paper, I don't want to necessarily have a brown background, I can use white gesso on it to change the color, or I can even use black gesso if I want black background. And I have both of those in my stash. So I'm going to be doing, I'm trying to get better at my multimedia artwork. I want to start learning how to do canvases. And I'm going to start on that by doing these Dina Wakley books. And also, there are some people on YouTube that I follow that I've learned a lot from. So I'll talk more about them when we get to that. But I'm going to be using this. She has several books out. Her art style is not necessarily my art style, but what I think is that the techniques she has to teach you in these books are invaluable. The use of color and putting things together. And the particular one I'm going to start with is called Art Journal Freedom: How to Journal Creatively with Color and Composition. And that's what I'm trying to learn. And as I said, the artist is Dina Wakley. She's got other books out, but this is the one I'm going to be using. And so I'm anxious to get started on that. And I will be picking a project to begin out of there. I'm probably going to just start at the beginning of her book and then work my way through it. Because you can see, like here, she gives you the how-tos, how to watercolor spray ink backgrounds. And she takes you through different things and how to do them in the book. And so, yep, it will be copying her techniques. And different things. I'm sure even though I'm a different, I may be copying, I'm a different person doing it. It's going to turn out differently. And she's a very experienced artist, and I'm just a regular person. So we're going to see how it goes. So I'm going to be doing that once a week. The other thing I'm going to be doing, just because I love it and I find it relaxing, are color books, and I have, and also because I have a whole stack of them, and I think that they'll help me learn more about color mixing, and just doing. And I love flowers, so that's one of the reasons that I picked this one. And it looked pretty simple for me to start with. So I'm going to be, and I've got several color books. So this one's just representational. So I'll probably do one color book page a week on the channel. And you guys will be able to see how terrible I am at it, and hopefully see me as I improve. Now, the other thing I want to do is really improve and actually my watercoloring and drawing looks like a elementary school or a preschool even almost, excuse my fingers, did it. It's so bad. And it's not that I want to become a professional artist or anything, but I would really enjoy nature drawing or even urban drawing of buildings and different things like that. So, but I've got a couple of quote-unquote textbooks or books to learn with that I found in the book annex at Barnes & Noble, relatively inexpensively. And for those of you who don't know, Barnes & Noble they used to be a lot more of a bargain than they are now. But they've got you can still find bargain books if you search through there, and some good ones. But they have a section in their store that is called the book annex, and basically they're just some shelves and things where they have some books that are usually better priced. And also, a lot of times they have them right in the foyer as you go in the store. They'll have some there as well. Not always. Sometimes they have other things on display there. And so this is one of those bargain books, but I was looking at it and I really liked it, because what I want to do is I've got nice watercolors. I've got everything, but it starts you from the very basics and works you up to what you need to do. And this is for nature drawing, okay? So nature drawing and watercoloring. And I also like watercolor pencils. So we'll see how all this goes. I don't own but a few watercolor pencils in very few colors right now. But that's a collection that I'm going to slowly grow because they're kind of expensive. You can see, but I've got regular watercolors. I've got a nice selection of those, and I don't know how to pronounce it, but some gouache paints, however you say that. I've got those as well, and I've also got I've got a very large set of colored pencils, even though they're not a really good set. I figure for learning they will work fine, and then I can always later on upgrade. But anyway, so there's that one to help me with my drawing. I plan that for sure will go with me on my trips. I have another one I bought at Yellowstone National Park when I was working there on animals. And it really has a lot of birds in it. It's the main thing it has in it. And so I have that. And it has also some other plants. And then here's one on being a botanical artist. And I love flowers, and so I'm really looking forward to getting in and learning from the one from Yellowstone and this one. The one from Yellowstone's out in my van, or I would have it here to show you. And this one. So I'm kind of excited about that. I think these are going to be really fun on my travels in the van. I have developed a love for hand stitching. And for, what a lot of people are calling slow stitching. And I've got, not necessarily is this going to be the book, but I've got several YouTube, and I call them artists because to me what they're doing is art, but several slow stitchers on YouTube that I like to follow, and I'm going to be doing some projects with them. I have some works in progress that I need to finish as far as slow stitching, and I'm going to begin work on a slow stitch quilt. Everything in it will be done by hand, but the work on the slow stitch quilt will happen as I gather up the fabrics that I want to use. And I don't have them all. So it's going to be a slow process on that quilt. But nonetheless, so you're going to see a lot of slow stitching because I have really, really developed a love of it. And for those of you that don't know what slow stitching is, we're going to have a little bit of an introduction to it, but look it up on YouTube. There are some people on there, a lot of experience doing it. And if you want to come along with me on my journey of improving in my slow stitching, which actually I'm enjoying it so much, I think my stuff is just turning out great. But if you want to join me on some of my projects, and also I will point out some of the projects that I will be doing along with other slow stitchers on YouTube. So if you are interested in that, please be sure and follow me, and we'll do that together and learn. Now, you may see me using some other publications, particularly when it comes to the needlework and learning how to do different stitches. So there definitely will be some other publications when it comes to that. Then join me. So these will all start to kind of gradually appear during the month of January. You're going to start seeing them on the channel. And I want to rename the channel as I said, to reflect more the diversity of the different things that I do. Um, I want it to reflect that I do multimedia and fiber arts, something along that realm. Maybe I will call it Jacqueline's fiber art journey, or something. I don't know. Maybe I'll just call it Jacqueline Ann Fiber Arts. I don't know, but we'll see. Multimedia and fiber arts. Jacqueline Ann's multimedia. Jacqueline's multimedia and fiber arts. That might be it right there. Let me ponder it and think about it for a few days. But these are some publications that I wanted to show you, but in particular this magazine, because if you decided you wanted to use this magazine, like I say, there are many others out there, but this is going to disappear if any of your magazine stands near you have it by this date, January the 13th, or you may be able to go onto Just Cross Stitch's website and order it if you want it. But you know what? If you've got some old back issues of some cross stitch magazines with a bunch of other small projects that you can get one finished in a month, by all means. Oh, while I'm at it, I was reading in the back of this one about this Sullivan's embroidery floss. I have never used it, and I've never seen it in any of the places I buy floss at, or any kind of embroidery thread at, but it says that it's woven in a unique way with something called unique relaxed twist, which results in a tangle-free, knot-free stitching experience. Have any of you ever used this Sullivan's embroidery floss? And what was your experience with it? And how did it look in your projects? I'm thinking, because since it is not available in my area, and I've noticed, like, I saw some patterns at my local fiber arts store. They didn't carry the Sullivans, but there were patterns there that had both the DMC numbers and the Sullivan's numbers. And look, at this magazine does as well. And I've never used or even seen that Sullivan's thread anywhere. So if any of you know anything about it, let me know. Now, in the slow stitch, I use all sorts of threads. I don't go by the number or anything else. I hold the thread up. Slow stitch is a different animal than cross stitch. But in cross stitch, I really feel like my project looks better. And I am not good enough at it to create. I think I need to use the threads that the pattern calls for. And I love the fact that there's conversion charts and stuff for the Sullivans. And if it is truly, because that is a pet peeve. But see what it says here? The result is a tangle-free, knot-free stitching experience. I'm thinking of ordering some of it to try. Of course, I've got so much thread right now that it probably wouldn't be until March that I ordered any, because I'm decided that I was going on a no spend January and February. I've got so much that I don't need it for any of the projects I don't need to buy anything new for any of the projects that I'm going to do, and that's going to include embroidery floss and that kind of thing. So I've got a lot. Even the pearl cottons, I've got a lot. So for my slow stitch projects, I don't need it, and for the cross stitch projects, I don't have this kitted out. As far as thread, but I've got a lot of these colors of thread. I bet you I've got these colors. I may end up having to buy at some point the fabrics to do them on, but I'm hoping I already have them. So anyway, everybody, I hope you had a wonderful Merry Christmas. I will see you tomorrow where I will talk about my quilting works in projects works in progress that I have going on, and what some projects that I have planned for 2025. And I love ya. I will talk to you later, and have a wonderful, wonderful new year. Bye bye.